Hello lovely people, welcome to Stella's Yarn Universe. In this tutorial I will show you how to crochet this Northern Cardinal. This is a pattern I created last year, but I thought it would be a great time to turn it into a video tutorial. It would just be so much fun to see more of your cardinals out there. So if you plan on making one, then make sure to share it. I love seeing your creations. Thank you so much for sharing them with me, whether you post them on Instagram or email me photos of your makes. I love that. Thank you. If you prefer using a written PDF pattern with many photos of the process, I have that available on Etsy, Ribbler, and Ravelry. The links are in the description box below. And it's also available on my Patreon together with over 20 patterns now. So if you're interested in checking that out, you can also find the link to that in the description box below. So now let's get into what materials and tools we need to make this bird. For this project, we need DK or light worsted or size 3 weight yarn in red and black. I'll be using gray instead of black so that you can see my stitches better. We'll also need a darker shade of red. And I'll be using a 2.5mm hook, which is something in between a size C2 and B1. So I recommend going for a C2 2.75mm if you don't have a 2.5mm available to you. We also need safety eyes. I'm using 5mm safety eyes for this project. They are just black plastic eyes. Then we need a stitch marker, a yarn needle, scissors, and some Fiberfill. And for the feet, we have two options. I'll also show you how to crochet the feet. So if you don't like working with wire, that's absolutely fine. Your bird won't be able to stand, but you can still hang it up and use it as decoration in this way. If you want to use wire, this is 1mm thick. So the gauge is 18 AWG. And I'm using these small flat pliers to shape the feet. We'll also need 2 pins and 2 drops of super glue if you're making wired legs for the bird. So without further ado, let's get crocheting. We start with the small feathers of the Cardinal's crest. And so use the red yarn and we make a slip knot to create a loop on our hook, and we make 6 of those small feathers, 2 in each size. Size C has 4 chains, and then 3 single crochets starting in the second chain from the hook. One, 2, 3. Then we fasten off, and we don't need a long yarn in here because these feathers will be crocheted on the head later on. And now we make another tiny feather like this. So we have 2 size C feathers now. For the size B feathers, we make 5 chains. And 4 single crochet starting in the second chain from the hook. And again we fasten off here. And make another one of these. For the size A feathers, we make 6 chains. And 5 single crochets starting in the second chain. And fasten off and make another one of these. So now that our feathers for the crest are ready, we can start with the head. We'll join them soon, so I have them ready to go in the corner there. We make a magic ring now, so just use your preferred magic ring method. And then we start with 6 single crochet in the magic ring. And that's round 1 done. Closing the magic ring. Now, in the next round, we increase, and at the same time, we join these little feathers for the crest. So we start with a single crochet in the first stitch of the round. So with the next single crochet, we'll join one of the smallest feathers, the size C feather. And so we want the right side to be facing outward. And to do that, we push it on our hook now here at the base with the right side facing down toward us and the wrong side facing away from us. So now we can pull the loop out a bit. We want to get in the same stitch to make this an increase. So we go in the same stitch we already crocheted in, and then we can pull the working yarn tight. And now before we make our single crochet, we can just put the ends on each side of the hook. So this way they'll automatically be hidden and we won't have any weaving in to do later. So now, holding all of this in place, we make a single crochet through both these layers. And that's the first increase done and the first feather attached. Now we single crochet in the next stitch. Crocheting over this yarn in there. And with the next single crochet, we'll join a size B feather, so one of the medium-sized feathers. And again, we want the right side to be facing us when we push it on our hook here at the base of the feather. So I'm just going through this spot here. And now I just pull the loop out a bit so I can get into the same stitch I already crocheted in. this one here. And now before making the single crochet again, I'm placing one yarn end on each side of the hook and hold that out of the way and single crochet. And that's the next increase done and the next feather attached. So now we make a single crochet in the next stitch, and with the next single crochet we'll join the largest feathers, the size A feathers, and again we go through the base of it with the right side facing us, and then we go through the same stitch and place the yarn ends on each side of the hook and single crochet. Now we're halfway done, and we do all of this in reverse order. So a single crochet in the next stitch, and then we crochet on the other largest feather, size A feather. Go through the base. It doesn't really matter which side of the base, if you go through here or here. Through the same stitch. And arrange the yarn ends on both sides of the hook and single crochet. Then single crochet in the next stitch, and now we'll join the second medium-sized feather, size B feather. So we go through the base of that and through the same stitch and arrange the feathers yarn ends on both sides of the hook and single crochet. And now the last increase, the last stitch of the round. And then we attach the last feather, which should be the smallest, one of the two smallest. Pushed it on the hook at the base and go through the same stitch. Lay the yarn ends on each side of the hook and single crochet. And that's round 2 done. So now you have the little feathers for the crest attached. So the wrong side should be facing up now, because this is the top of the head, and from the outside you can see the right side. I'm going to pull my loop out a bit, because now I want to secure the feathers by making little knots. So I'll just make a double knot with the 2 yarn ends of each feather. This way they're just properly secured. Now all the feathers are securely attached. I placed a stitch marker in the last stitch. And now in round 3, we'll continue increasing. So if the yarn ends bother you, you can cut them shorter. I'll just keep them and use them as filling later. So we start with 1 single crochet. And in the next stitch, we make an increase. And we will repeat this 5 more times. That's the round done. So we have a stitch count of 18 now. And in the next round, we continue increasing. So this time we start with 2 single crochet. And then we make an increase in every 3rd stitch. So we repeat this series of stitches 5 more times. 2 single crochet and 1 increase. The round is complete now, so we have a stitch count of 24, and in the next round we'll single crochet 1 in each of the 24 stitches. And round 5 is done now. In round 6 we'll start working with the black yarn, or I'll be using gray. You can use black. So have your black yarn ready. We start with 7 single crochet in red, and with the 7th we'll change to black. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and with the 7th I pull the red yarn through, then drop it for now, then I'll join the gray yarn by just pulling a loop through the 2 red loops, and I'll hold this gray yarn end in place. Now I want to use both yarns because I want to carry the red yarn through the gray stitches. There are different ways to do that. I like to do that by laying the yarns over my index finger, like so. So the yarn that I'm working with is on top and the other one below. But if it's easier for you, you may want to drop the red yarn. Just make sure that you crochet around it. So now we have 10 single crochet in black, and so to carry the red yarn through our stitches, we go underneath it, pick up the black yarn. I'm just going to call it black since you are using black, and then pull it through the stitch underneath the red yarn. And once you have your 2 loops on the hook, then you go over the red yarn, pick up the black yarn, and pull it through the 2 loops. So this way we carry the red yarn through. And now we do 9 more single crochet in black. So insert the hook in the next stitch, go under the red yarn, pick up the black yarn, pull it through underneath the red yarn, and then go over the red yarn and pull the black yarn through the 2 loops on your hook. Now the next one is going to be the 10th single crochet, so we'll change back to red. Before we do that, I'm going to pull the red yarn, not too tight, just enough so that I won't have any red loops showing through the black stitches. If we pull too much, we might distort the shape of our amigurumi, so be careful with that. So now one more single crochet in black. So I pick up the black yarn, pull it through, and then pick up the red yarn and pull it through the black stitches. Now I'm switching colors. So now red goes on top of my index finger, black below, and now I'm carrying the black yarn through the red stitches. So in this round we have 7 single crochet left. So now we go underneath the black yarn, pick up the red yarn, pull it through underneath the black, and then go over the black yarn, pick up the red yarn and pull it through the 2 loops. And that's round 6 done, and round 7 looks exactly the same way. So we start again with 7 red single crochet, and we continue carrying the black yarn through the red stitches. And in the 7th single crochet we change to black, but first I'm going to pull the black yarn now to make sure that it won't show through the red stitches. Pick up the red yarn, pull it through, and then pick up the black yarn and pull it through the 2 red loops. So now we switch again. Now black goes on top, and we make 10 single crochet in black. And before making the 10th single crochet, I pull the red yarn a bit. Pick up the black yarn, pull it through, and then the red yarn. And now we switch again, and we make the remaining 7 stitches of the round in red. That's round 7 done. In round 8, we make a few increases, 6 increases to be precise. So we start with an increase in the first stitch, and that's in red. Then we make a single crochet in the next stitch, an increase in the next, a single crochet in the next, and an increase in the next, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, and then we make 3 single crochet in red. So 1, 2, and now before we make the last red one, I'm pulling the black yarn, and then we'll make the last red stitch, changing to black and switching colors. Now we have 8 single crochet in black. Before making the last, I give the red yarn a little tug, and with the 8th single crochet in black we change to red. So red goes on top, and now we make 3 single crochet in red, one increase, one single crochet. I need to be careful not to work the black yarn into my red stitches. Then one increase, one single crochet, and an increase in the last stitch. So now we have a stitch count of 30. Round 8 is complete now, and in round 9 we don't have any increases, so we just start with 12 single crochet in red, that's 11, so I'm giving the black yarn a tug now, and change to black with the 12th single crochet. Then we have 6 single crochet in black, giving the red a little tug, and changing to red with the 6th. And now we'll single crochet in the remaining 12 stitches in red. and this is round 9 done. In round 10, we start with 13 single crochet in red. That's 12, so give the black yarn a pull, and with the 13th single crochet we change to black. Now we have 4 single crochet in black, and then we single crochet in the remaining 13 stitches in red. After this round we're going to fasten off the black yarn, but I still crochet around it and carry it through the stitches, because this way it gets secured and I won't have to weave it in. So I give the black yarn a final tug, and then we can fasten it off. And this is round 10 done. Before we continue crocheting, this is a good opportunity to insert the safety eyes. So we'll place them in between rounds 6 and 7, the 2 upper black rows here, and we're aiming for the upper right corner, so somewhere here I would say. Let's see if that's wide enough to get the safety eye in. That's it. I won't secure the back yet. First, I'll see how it looks with the other eye inserted. Because I'm not sure if it should go here or there. Let's see. Let's try this first. And I think that looks good. So I'm going to attach the backs now. And that's it. That's how it looks from either side. So in round 11, we'll do some more increases. we start with 2 single crochet and an increase in the 3rd stitch, and we repeat this 2 more times. 2 single crochet and 1 increase. Once more, 2 single crochet and 1 increase. Then we make 14 single crochet That's 14. Then we make an increase in the next stitch, 2 single crochet, and increase in the next, and 2 single crochet and an increase in the last stitch. So now we have a stitch count of 36, and in the next 2 rounds, rounds 12 and 13, we'll single crochet 1 in each of these 36 stitches. So you can pause the video here and hit play once you've done the 2 rounds of 36 single crochet. Rounds 12 and 13 are done now. I'm just going to start filling the head now. So I'm pushing all these yarn ends to the top of the head. These pliers are really useful for that as well. And I'm also using some Fiberfill because I want to make sure that there's filling between the safety eyes. I think that's enough for now, so from here on out we can just continue filling as we go. So in the next round, round 14, we make increases as well as decreases. So we start with a single crochet, and then we make an increase, and repeat this once more. 1 single crochet and 1 increase. Then we have 11 single crochet, then we make a decrease. So for that, we go in the front loop of the next stitch and the front loop of the next. Pick up the yarn, pull it through the 2 front loops, pick it up again and pull it through the 2 loops on our hook. Now we make a single crochet and another decrease, and a single crochet and another decrease. And we have 1 more single crochet and then 11 single crochet. And we finish the round with an increase. So now we still have a stitch count of 36, and in the next 2 rounds, rounds 15 and 16, we'll make 1 single crochet in each of them. So here you can pause the video again and make 2 rounds of 36 single crochet. Rounds 15 and 16 are complete now, and in round 17 we do some increases and decreases again. So we start with a single crochet, then we make an increase, and we repeat this 2 more times. Single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase. Then we make 11 single crochet, then we make a decrease, and a single crochet, and we repeat that 2 more times. A decrease, and a single crochet, and a 3rd decrease, and a single crochet, and then we single crochet in the remaining 10 stitches of the round. And that's round 17 done, and we still have a stitch count of 36. In the next 2 rounds, rounds 18 and 19, we single crochet 1 in each of these 36 single crochet. So you can again pause the video and crochet these next 2 rounds in your own time. Rounds 18 and 19 are done now, and in round 20 we do some increases. No decreases in this round, only increases. And we start with 2 single crochet, and then we make an increase, Then we single crochet 1, make an increase, single crochet 1, and make an increase, and single crochet 1, and then we just single crochet in the remaining 28 stitches of the round. And following that, in round 21, we single crochet in all 39 stitches of the round. So you can pause the video here and complete this round of single crochet stitches and the next round of 39 single crochet stitches. Rounds 20 and 21 are complete now, so we have a stitch count of 39, and in the next 2 rounds we'll crochet an opening for the tail. And so to do that, we are going to make a chain of 8 here at the center back and then skip the 8 stitches that are in the center back. So the placement may vary for each of us. In my pattern, I start the round with 6 single crochet and then I make 8 chains and skip the next 8 stitches, but this might not be correct for all of us. It might even be different for me because this time I'm using different yarn. So the best way to do this is to figure out which 8 stitches to skip first. And so I'm just looking at the front of the cardinal and then just turn it around and try to find the 8 stitches in the back this way. So I would say these 2 stitches are the stitches in the center back. So this means that this is the 4th and this is the 5th. So 4, 3, 2, 1. So this would be the first that I skip. So as you can see, this time I only have 3 single crochet to do before creating the opening. So it really is different depending on the tension we use when we crochet and the yarn we use. So it's best you figure out which 8 stitches are in the center back for you. So you now single crochet as many as it takes to get to the first of the 8 stitches that need to be skipped. So in my case, 3 single crochet. Then we make 8 chains. And skip the next 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And single crochet in the next stitch. And now it's easier to check if my calculation was right. So it doesn't quite look aligned with the center back. I think I could have made another single crochet. So let's try that. So trying to start with 4 single crochet this time, then 8 chains, and skipping 8 stitches. So this time the next single crochet goes in here. Let's see how that looks from the top. I think that's better aligned with the center back. So that's what I'm going with. So once you found the right placement for your 8 skipped stitches and the 8 chains, you finish the round by making 1 single crochet in each stitch. So you can pause the video and complete the round in your own time. Round 22 is complete now. And in round 23, we'll just make 1 single crochet in each stitch and 1 in each of the 8 chains. So in my case, I start with 6 single crochet, and once you reach the chains, you just make 1 single crochet in each. And I just go through the back loop because we want to use the front loop later to crochet the tail out of the opening. And once you've made the 8 single crochet in the chains, you single crochet in the remaining stitches of the round. So in my case, 27. Once again, you can pause the video and hit play once you completed the round. Round 23 is done, and so is the opening for the tail. So now we start decreasing to finish the body. It will take a few more rounds though. We start round 24 with a decrease, and then we make 11 single crochet. Then we make another decrease and 11 single crochet. And one final time, decrease and 11 single crochet. I have 12 stitches left, but I think that's because I made a mistake earlier. That's okay, as long as the decreases are spread out evenly. So I probably only made 10 here. but that's all right. So in the next round, round 25, we start with 2 single crochet. And then we make a decrease. And then we make 4 single crochet. And a decrease. And we repeat the 4 single crochet in the decrease 4 more times. And then we single crochet in the 2 remaining stitches. So now we're down to a stitch count of 30. And in round 26, we start with 3 single crochet. And then we make an increase. And we repeat this 5 more times. That's the round done. Going to add more fiberfill now. In round 27, we start with 1 single crochet. Then we make a decrease. And then we make 2 single crochet. And a decrease. And we repeat the 2 single crochet in the decrease 4 more times. and then we make a single crochet in the remaining stitch. So now we have a stitch count of 18, and in round 28 we start again with one single crochet and then make a decrease, and we repeat these 2 stitches 5 more times. One single crochet, one decrease, and that's the round done. I won't add any more fiberfill because we can still add more through the opening for the tail. And now in the last round we make 6 decreases in a row. And now we can fasten off. And I'm going to add more fiberfill through the tail opening before closing the round, just to make sure that the bottom part of the body is nicely filled. And then we can thread the yarn end on a yarn needle. And we go through the front loops of all 6 stitches. Then pull the round close and go through the center of the last round. And from here we can weave in the yarn end anywhere really. I'm going here, going to do it on the side where we'll attach the the wing later. And then we cut this short. And that's the head and body done. So next we'll crochet the tail out of the opening here. And so we start the tail with the same bright red that we used for the head and body. And so we join the yarn in this stitch here that is already crocheted in, just the other way around. So we go through the same stitch and then we just pull a loop through. Now I'll just hold this end in place. With this hand it's a bit easier. So now we'll make one single crochet in each of these 8 chains and the other side of them. Sometimes they're a bit difficult to see, so I'll make it a bit easier by pulling them out with the yarn needle. So this is the first one. The first one is easy to skip. So that's the first 8 single crochet done. Next we'll pull a loop up here on the side of the opening and we'll crochet in here. So one single crochet in there. So that's 9. Next we'll make one single crochet in each of the 8 skipped stitches. Drop my stitch here, so I'm just redoing that. So now we'll make one single crochet in each of these 8. So that's 17 stitches done, and the final stitch goes in this space here where we first joined the yarn. So one single crochet in there, and now round 1 is complete and we have a stitch count of 18. Just going to hide this yarn end and place a stitch marker in the last stitch. In round 2 we single crochet 1 in each of the 18 stitches. So you can pause the video and do that in your own time. Round 2 is complete, and now in round 3 we start with a decrease and then we make 5 single crochet. Then we make another decrease, and then we single crochet in the remaining 9 stitches. So now our stitch count is down to 16, and in the next 2 rounds, rounds 4 and 5, we'll single crochet in all 16 stitches of the round. So you can pause the video again and do that in your own time. The 2 rounds of 16 single crochet are done now, and in round 6 we start with 3 single crochet. Then we make a decrease, and then we single crochet in the remaining 11 stitches. And now we can pull our loop out a bit, because we're going to fill this part of the tail with Fiberfill. And after that, we'll start crocheting the tail feathers. So the 15 stitches that our round now has will be divided into 3 parts, 3 tail feathers, so to speak. I'm not filling the tail too much because I want the end to be quite flat. So that maybe just a little bit more than that. That's it. So to start the right tail feather, we single crochet in the next 2 stitches of the round. And then we turn the bird around. And now we single crochet in the last 3 stitches of the round. So this is the last stitch. And so this here is the 3rd to last stitch. Just pull out my loop a bit so I can get in there. And then I pull the working yarn tight again. So now make these 3 single crochet. And that's the first round of the right tail feather done. So from here we work in this round of 5 single crochet, and we'll make 14 rounds, 13 more rounds. In the last stitch of round 14 of the right tail feather, we'll change colors to a dark red. So I'll let you do this part in your own time. So we make now 13 rounds of 5 single crochet, and then you can hit play again. I'm at the last stitch of round 14 of the first tail feather now. So here I'm going to change color to the darker shade of red. So that I can start round 15 with the darker shade of red, and I'm fastening off the bright red yarn. So now in round 15 we have one more round of 5 single crochet. And in round 16 we'll make 4 single crochet, and an increase in the last stitch. And then in round 17 we'll single crochet in all 6 stitches of the round. And then we can fasten off and close the round. But first we can hide these 2 yarn ends. Just pull it through as far as possible, and then we'll cut them short. And then we'll go through the front loops of all 6 stitches. And close it. And then go through the center and weave in the yarn end. Do a few stitches here, and then I do the same thing I did with the other yarn ends. So that's the first tail feather done. And so to make the second one, the center tail feather, we join the bright red yarn in the first stitch next to the existing tail feather on the bottom side. So now I'm using the bright red yarn again and just pull a loop through. And then we'll make one single crochet in the next stitch and one in the next stitch. And turn the bird around. And then we'll single crochet in the 2 stitches next to the existing tail feather. So I pull my loop out a bit again to go in the first of the 2, then pull it tight again. And another single crochet, the 5th single crochet of the first round goes in the stitch where we joined the yarn. So that's round 1 done. So we have a round of 5 again, and we do the same thing we did with the previous feather. So we make 13 more rounds of 5 single crochet, so up to round 14. And then in the last stitch we change to the darker shade of red. So you can pause the video here and make 13 rounds of 5 single crochet. I have 14 rounds of 5 single crochet altogether now, but actually for the middle tail feather we do one more round in bright red. Sorry about that, I didn't read that correctly in my own pattern. So we make 5 more single crochet and then we'll change to dark red in the 5th. And here we can fasten off the bright red yarn and join the dark red yarn. Then in round 16 we have another 5 single crochet. And then round 17 we make 4 single crochet and then increase. So now we have a stitch count of 6, and in round 18 we make 1 single crochet in each of the 6 stitches. And then we fasten off and close the round and hide the yarn ends as we did with the first tail feather. So now we'll join the bright red yarn again to crochet the last tail feather. And here we insert our hook again on the bottom side of the bird next to the middle tail feather. So in the first free stitch here, and now we can just crochet all around in the remaining 4 stitches. And the 5th single crochet goes into the stitch where we joined the yarn. And so this tail feather looks exactly like the first one, so we'll do it in the same way. We'll crochet 13 rounds now, so that we'll have 14 rounds of 5 single crochet altogether, and that's when we change colors to dark red. I'm doing the last single crochet of round 14 now, so here I fasten off and join the dark red yarn. And then I do one more round of 5 single crochet. And that's round 15 done. In round 16 we make 4 single crochet and 1 increase. And in the last round we make 6 single crochet. And here we fasten off again and hide the yarn ends and close the round in the same way as before. The tail of our cardinal is done now, and so next we crochet the beak, and for that I'm using bright red yarn, and we start with 8 chains, but first we leave a long enough yarn end for sewing the beak on, so I'd say at least 20 centimeters or 8 inches. Then we chain 8. And then we crochet in the first chain here to form a circle. So I just pull the back loop of that first chain on the hook, and that's where the first single crochet goes. And then we make 1 single crochet in each of the remaining 7 stitches, so we'll have a round of 8. That's round 1 done. I'll just pull this long yarn end out because that's where we'll need it later. In the next round, we make 4 decreases in a row. So here we need to find the first single crochet of the round, which is this one here, and we go through the front loop and the front loop of the next stitch to single crochet them together. And then we repeat this 3 more times. I'll do that again because my yarn split and that would be noticeable on the beak. So that's 3 and now 1 more. So that's it. Here we fasten off, and here we don't need a long yarn end because we'll use the other one to sew the beak on later. And then we close the round. So we go through the front loops of all 4 stitches of the round. And close. And then we go through the center of the last round and bring this yarn end to the inside of the beak. And we can use that as filling actually. So might not all fit in there. So you can shorten it if it's too long. But I think for me it kind of fits. They have a quite strong beak, so we can fill it quite generously. So now you can do that now or later when you sew the beak to the head. I'll just do it now. I'll just even out this first round here by going through the first stitch, the first chain with the yarn end, just to make the beginning and end of the first round a bit more even. And then we set it aside until it's time to assemble. Now we crochet the wings, and for those I'm using the darker shade of red. And we start with a magic ring. The wings are not filled with fiberfill, but they are crocheted in a round. And in round 1, we make 6 single crochet in the magic ring. Close the round. In round 2, we make 6 increases. Now we have a stitch count of 12, and in round 3 we start with 1 single crochet, and then we make an increase, and we repeat this 5 more times. 1 single crochet and 1 increase. So now we have a stitch count of 18, and in the next 6 rounds, rounds 4 to 9, we'll single crochet 1 in each of these 18 stitches. So you can pause the video here and hit play once you've done these 6 rounds of 18 single crochet. Round 9 is complete now, so we have our 6 rounds of 18 single crochet, and in round 10 we start decreasing. We start with 4 single crochet, and then we make a decrease. And then we repeat these steps 2 more times. 4 single crochet, and a decrease. So now we have a stitch count of 15, and in round 11 we'll single crochet 1 in each of these 15 stitches. That's round 11 done. And in round 12 we continue decreasing, so this time we start with 3 single crochet, and then we make a decrease. And then we repeat this 2 more times, 3 single crochet, and a decrease. So now we have a stitch count of 12, and in the next round we'll single crochet 1 in each of these 12 stitches. So that's the round done. We don't fasten off here because we'll go straight into crocheting the first of the feathers. I just hid the yarn end in the wing, but other than that, like I said, we won't fill the wing, so we'll push it together like so. But first we'll divide the 12 stitches into 2 groups of 6. So we make 3 single crochet now, and then we skip the next 6 stitches and turn our work. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 we skip, and in this stitch here we make the next single crochet, and then we single crochet in the next 2. So now we have a round of 6, and we'll make 6 more rounds like this, just 1 single crochet in each of the 6 stitches of the round, so 6 more rounds, so we'll have 7 rounds of 6 single crochet. And then once you have 7 rounds of 6 single crochet all together, you can fasten off and close the round. So we go through the front loops of all 6 stitches. Pull it closed, go through the center, and either weave in the yarn end or bring it to this opening here, and then hide it inside the wing. And now we'll crochet the other feather. It doesn't really matter where we join the yarn. In the pattern I did it on this side, so let's go with that, although it doesn't really make a difference. So I'm going through the first stitch next to the existing feather and rejoin the dark red yarn by just pulling a loop through, and then I'll just hold the yarn end in place and turn the wing and start crocheting in the 6 stitches of the round. And the last single crochet goes in the stitch where we joined the yarn. And that's the first round of 6 single crochet done. For this feather we'll make 9 rounds altogether. So now you can pause the video and crochet 8 more rounds of 6 single crochet. Once you have 9 rounds of 6 single crochet done, you can fasten off, and here we leave a long yarn end, so I'm leaving around 16 inches, 40 centimeters, because we'll use this to sew the wing on later on. So first I'm going to hide this shorter, or weave in this shorter yarn end here. And then I'll close the round, and we want to bring this long yarn end to the right place, so somewhere here, because this will be the top part of the wing and this the lower part, and so we want to have it somewhere here so we can crochet around the base of the wing, sew around the base of the wing, sorry. So like always we just go through the front loops. close the round, go through the center, and now we're aiming for the base of this shorter feather here, somewhere here. Pull the yarn in through, and now we have it in the right spot where we can start sewing on the wings later. So now you can repeat all of these steps to crochet the other wing. Now we'll crochet the little bases of the legs, and for this I'm using the bright red yarn that I used for the head and body, and this is very similar to the beak. So we again leave a long yarn end, 20 centimeters or 8 inches should be enough. Then we make 8 chains, and then we close these 8 chains to a round by crocheting in the first one, so then I make a single crochet in here, and then single crochet in all 7 remaining chains, so that we'll have a round of 8. And then we fasten off. Here we don't need a very long yarn end. I'll pull this longer yarn end through the middle here. And with the shorter yarn end, we'll make an invisible finish now. And that will hopefully make the base of the legs look more neat and bring this round together. So this here is the first single crochet. We'll skip that first single crochet of the round and go through the next single crochet, and then we'll go through the front, in between the front and back loop of the last single crochet that we made, and this way we'll get this continuous round that looks a bit more even. Later we'll weave in this end somewhere on the body, so I'll just go through somewhere at the base. So this is now ready to be sewn on. You can repeat these steps to make the other base of the leg. Now I'm going to show you how to make the wired feet. If you prefer crocheting the feet, you can fast forward to that part. It's the next part in this video, or you can open the description box below and click on the timestamp for the crocheted feet. So for the wired feet, we need 1 millimeter thick craft wire. The gauge is 18 AWG. And I'm sorry, I only have a centimeter tape measure, but I'll tell you how much the measurements are in inches as well. So we need a 12-inch long piece, 30 centimeters per foot. And so first we measure 6 centimeters. That's about 2.4 inches. And that's where we make the first bend. And we bend this 6 centimeter, 2.4 inches long side over completely. If you have pliers, you can even squeeze the end to completely fold it over. Then we measure 4 centimeters, which is about 1.6 inches. So from this bend here, 4 centimeters, 1.6 inches. And here we make a 90-degree angle. So this is looks a bit neater if you have pliers, but you can do it with your hands as well. So this is going to be the leg, and these are the toes. This is the back toe that we'll do later. Now we do the 3 front facing toes. And the first one is about 1 centimeter long. So that's about 0.4 inches. So at 1 centimeter or 0.4 inches, we bend the wire back completely, 180 degrees. And here, this will be the base of the foot where all the wires meet. Here, we bend it forward again. Now we make the middle toe, and that's about 1.5 centimeters long or 0.6 inches. So at that length, we fold the wire back again. So that's how it looks now from the top. And here at the base, where all the wires meet, we fold it forward again. And then we make the third toe. The third toe is again 1 centimeter long or 0.4 inches. So at that length, we fold it back. So this is how it looks from above. This is how it looks from the side. These 2 centimeters or 0.8 inches that we set aside here, these are going to form the backward facing toe. So here at the base, where all the toes meet, we fold this part backward, so it's in alignment with the middle toe. And at the half the length, so about 0.4 of the 0.8 inches or 1 of the 2 centimeters, we fold the wire back all the way to the base of the foot. And now we have all 4 toes shaped. This long end here we use now to wrap twice around the backward facing toe. So that's 1. And 2. And that's the foot shaped. Now we'll wrap the rest up the legs, starting at the base here. So we wrap it up the leg as close to the wire as possible. And that's the foot done. Now we just, we can, if you have pliers, you can bend the end closer to the leg. And then I'm going to bend the leg backwards a bit. And then from the halfway point here, that's not wrapped, that's going upward a bit. And so this part is going to go on the inside of the amigurumi, so we'll only see this wrapped part later when our little cardinal is finished. So you can repeat all of these steps to make the second foot. If you want to crochet the legs, you can use gray yarn or whichever color you like. And we start with 9 chains. Then we make 3 slip stitches starting in the second one from the hook, so in this one here. Try to make the slip stitches not too tight. From here we make 5 chains. And then we make 4 slip stitches starting in the second one from the hook. Then we make 4 chains and 3 slip stitches starting in the second one from the hook. So now we have these 3 toes. That will be the forward facing toes. And these chains that we haven't crocheted in yet are going to form the leg. So now we make a slip stitch in the base of this first toe. So through this gap that you can see here. 1 slip stitch in there. So all 3 toes are together now. And then we make 4 chains. And 3 slip stitches starting in the second chain. And then we make 5 single crochet in these remaining 5 chains. If you prefer, you can make slip stitches if you want the legs to be thinner. And here we can fasten off, leaving the yarn end long enough for sewing. And now we just need to shape the legs a bit, so just when you sew them on, you want them to look like this. Of course, your bird won't be able to stand, but you can still hang it up as decoration. Now we can assemble the parts of our bird that are not crocheted on. So let's start with the beak. So it's already filled with one of the yarn ends. So I'll just need to pin it in the center of this For You black patch. I'll just leave one round of black space above. So that's where I'll sew it on. Just put one pin on top and one in the bottom. Just have a look at it from all angles. If that looks right, we can then thread the yarn end on our needle. So I'm picking up a loop on the head as close to the base of the beak as possible. We want to make small stitches. And then I'm going through a loop at the base of the beak. And then again through the head. As close as possible, and just picking up one loop to make a tiny stitch. And then I find the next loop on the beak that's as close as possible. And this way I sew all around. Here my yarn split, so I'll go through that one as well. So you can pause the video here and sew all around the base of the beak in this way. Once you've sewn the beak on all around, you can bring the yarn into the side, to the side of the base of the beak. And here I'll pick up a loop on the beak, so a red loop here at the side of the beak, at the base. And then I'll go through a small loop at the tip of the beak. So I'm making a couple of stitches to divide the upper and lower part, to divide the beak into the upper and lower part. Something like this. And then we finish by picking up a loop at the other side of the beak, somewhere here near the base. And from here we go through the head and somewhere to the side of the body where we can weave in the yarn end. Now we can sew on the little bases for the legs. So this part will be the bottom part, and this these chains will be the top part, so they are what go on the body here. So we sew them on each side of the last round here. So I'll just put in 2 pins, one on each side. A little further backward maybe. And that's it. So aligned with the center of the last round here. Then we'll use the long yarn end to sew this part on all around. And it's the same thing we did with the beak. We pick up a loop as close to the leg as possible on the body, go through it, and then go through a loop on the base of the leg. And then again pick up a loop on the body. And this way we go all around until the base of the leg is firmly attached. Once the base of the leg is sewn on all around, you can weave in both these yarn ends on the side of the body where the wings will go. Legs. So let me first show you how to attach the crocheted legs. For these, I just cut both ends to the same length and thread them on my yarn needle. And then I go through the opening here. And I think I'm going to go here to the side to hide the ends. And there we go. When editing this video, I'm going to place this part before attaching the wings because I think it would be easiest to weave this contrast colored yarn in somewhere on the side where you'll later attach the wing. So this way you don't need to hide it very carefully. You can just weave it in as usual and then cut it short. Now we can attach the wings. So we have 2 equal wings. This shorter feather should be facing upward and the longer one downward. So to differentiate between the 2 wings, we just bulge them out so that they mirror each other. And then we just start with 1. I'm going to pin it on the side of the body, kind of diagonally. And I'm aiming for rounds 10 to 17 of the body for the placement of the wings. So this should be around 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So round 10 is the last one that has black in it. So that's the height I want the wing to start at. And we'll start sewing here where we left our long yarn end. And then we'll stitch all the way around here. So if we draw an imaginary horizontal line from this pin to the front, that should be enough to sew to this point. Then we can check from the front if we're happy with that placement. Check the back as well. I think I'm moving it a little further back. That's it. And the feathers of the wing are pointing below the tail feathers. So then we can thread this long yarn end on our needle. And now we just find a loop on the body as close to the wing as possible. And then a loop on the wing again. I try to pick up only one loop to make the stitches as small as possible. But sometimes that's a bit tricky. Maybe that's because I crochet very tightly. So then once you've stitched the upper part of the wing on, you can weave the yarn end in on the wing or hide it underneath the wing with a knot, or both. And then we repeat all of this on the other side. If you made wired legs, you can insert them in these openings. Let's see if it's easy enough to do. You may need to insert the yarn needle first to make some space between the fiberfill and see if it goes in easily. And once you're sure that it goes in easily, you can place a drop of glue on the tip here. I'm using super glue for that, so a drop should be enough to hold the leg in place, and then carefully go through the opening and tilt the foot slightly outward. Just repeat this with the other side. And actually it's going on this way, so I'll try to get the direction right when inserting the needle. this time at least. Okay, that's it. Yeah, so make sure the opening is easy to find before using the glue. And that's it. Just gonna see, yeah, that looks right. So I'm going to let the glue dry, and then I'm going to bend the toes so that the cardinal can stand. So I bend the toes slightly downward, like so. And this helps the cardinal stand. So that's it. That's our Northern Cardinal done. Thank you very much for crocheting along with me. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I'd love to see your cardinal, so if you share it on Instagram, please tag me at Stella's Yarn Universe so I can give you a big thumbs up. And if you enjoyed this tutorial, then please give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you won't miss any of my future crochet tutorials. Thank you very much for being here and hope to see you again soon. Bye.